Hey everybody, John from Slash Bash coming at you with another Choosing Beggar Reddit video, where a Choosing Beggar Farmer attempts to swindle a teenager working at a grain mill. Let's jump right in. Alright, I'll start with the obligatory backstory. This took place about a year ago at a feed mill I used to work at. I was a sophomore who had somehow landed a job there thanks to a relative working in the company. It was harvest, and farmers were hauling in their grain, essentially just corn, to sell. Now is where I come in. I'm what is known as a scale master, as my co-workers called me. Essentially, the process works like this. Farmer, usually in a semi, pulls onto the scale and I weigh his truck and trailer. Next, I use a special probe arm with a vacuum attached to it in order to take a sample of his corn. In the lab, I then test this corn for several factors like bugs, mold, and most importantly, moisture. For the non-farming folk, when you haul in corn, you want it to have the least moisture possible. If it is below 16%, then you get paid more for it as we don't have to dry it. If it's above 16.1%, you get paid significantly less. This is because we have to dry it ourselves, which costs time and money to ensure our entire bins of feed and corn aren't destroyed by mold. Okay, now that that's out of the way, I can get into the actual story. So this was a day like any other. I had clocked in after a long day of school and sat in my little office chair waiting for a farmer. About 2 hours into my shift, a farmer, who I'll call CB for Choosing Beggar, pulls onto the scale. Hello, sir. How can I help you today? Just hurry up and weigh me, kid. Farmers tend to be in a rush around dusk before dew sets in, so I am used to an impatient attitude. All right, sir, just hold tight. I'll be done in a jiff, I say, trying to keep a happy tone. Whatever, kid. He takes out his phone and starts scrolling through something or other. I take his weight down in the spreadsheet and get ready to use the probe. I always liked the probe. It had joysticks and a CCTV camera above the scale, so it was like playing a video game. I began taking samples from his trailer when I notice something is off. The cover on his trailer isn't entirely rolled off, and the rear of the trailer looks to be divided into a separate section altogether. Sir, can you please roll the rest of your tarp back? I can't reach the grain. No, kid, I can't. Just hurry up. I can't let you go until I get a general sample from all around the trailer. Please roll the tarp back. Just take the sample. The Choosing Beggar then presses a button somewhere in his cab and the tarp rolls back. I maneuver the probe over and take a sample. Wouldn't you know, the computer screen flashes to life with red text saying his average moisture level went from 15.4% to 24.6%. This corn he had stashed in the back had enough moisture to destroy an entire bin of corn, which at this plant are about the size of a 12-story building. All right, sir, I have everything I need. Please head to bin number 2. Bin number 2 is our heavy drying bin and means he'll be paid quite a lot less. No! I need to go to bin number 1. I dried this corn at home. Bin number 1 is our no drying bin, and there was no way he was going there. I'm sorry, sir, but I can't send you there. Your average moisture was 24.6%. No, he says, more frustrated. My moisture was at most 15%. I ran it through my own dryer. Hurry up and open the darn door. The door being the semi-truck-sized door to the dumping pad inside the bin. Sir, your moisture levels pose a significant threat of molding an entire bin. Please, follow the road to bin number 2. At this point, my boss comes over from his office after my coworker overheard the situation and flagged him down. Now, I loved my boss. He was a no BS type guy who got things done. He walked over to the radio and took the mic from me.
Hello, sir. What seems to be the problem? Your scale worker here won't send me to bin number 1. He says my moisture is way above what I know it is. I'm sorry, sir, but that moisture level looks accurate to his sample. We've already offered you as much per bushel for moist corn as our competitor name is offering per bushel for dry corn. I even remember signing off on your contract to make sure you got those prices. It doesn't matter. My family has been customers here for years now, and I demand to be sent to the correct bin. You are being sent to the correct bin. Please do not harass my employees for a mistake you made in drying your corn. If you like, I can send you to bin number 4, a low drying bin, for the front of your trailer, and you can either dump the rear at bin number 2 today or dry it at home and bring it back later. No! I know what I came with and will not dump for less than what it's worth. I will be telling name of his father about this, and we will not be renewing our contract.
Choosing Beggar then disconnects from the radio before my boss can respond and pulls off the scale and exits the mill. I asked my boss if I had done anything wrong, and he tells me not to worry and that I did the right thing. My boss then pulls out his phone and calls the farmer's dad. I'll call him BD for Beggar's dad. I decided to listen in even if I shouldn't have. I couldn't hear it very well, but I'll recreate the conversation the best I can.
Hello, Beggar's dad. Your son just came through our scale and told us you will not be renewing your contract with us.
What? Why?
My scale master tested his corn at 24.6% moisture. Your son claims it had been dried and then told us your family would not be renewing their contract as a result of not being sold for dry price.
After a very audible sigh, no, we will be renewing our contract. I'll send him back tomorrow. This time I'll make sure it has been dried. My boss then returns to his office and I hear him talking with Beggar's dad for a little while longer, but wasn't able to make out what was said. The next day, I was not scheduled to work, so I didn't know what became of Choosing Beggar that day. However, what I learned the following Saturday when I returned was shocking, yet hilarious. According to my boss, I was not to weigh him ever again unless he came through with a totally open-topped vehicle. Apparently, Choosing Beggar had not only tried to conceal his very wet corn in the far rear, but also confessed to his very angry father that the corn had also been layered. Corn layering is where a farmer will layer their dry corn atop their moist corn to hope the probe will only catch the dry corn. This way they can get away with drying less corn or barely any at all. I hadn't noticed this, and if I hadn't seen the tarp at the rear for some reason, it could have spelled disaster for our bins. I'm talking tens of thousands of dollars lost, not only our own, but other hard-working farmers as well, as we wouldn't be able to pay them. After that year, I didn't return to working for them as I found a better part-time job with less scandalous customers. Still, that Choosing Beggar, however, who had already been offered so much for what he clearly didn't deserve, is one of my favorite memories of that place. He tried convincing me that my car wasn't worth what I asked for. Okay, so this happened somewhere around the beginning of 2019, so I can't quite remember too much of what was said, but I do remember the important part, so here we go. The cast is me, and the Choosing Beggar is the man who wants to buy my car. I was in desperate need for some cash and decided to sell my car, a 1997 silver Lincoln Town car. I did think long and hard because, well, it's a discontinued car and I love it. But as I said, I was desperate for some money, at the time at least. So I put it out there and this man, Choosing Beggar, comes up to my house and asks me the price. I tell him $1,500 since it has a few issues, but it still runs great. He tells me he'll think about it since he was in a rush, but I gave him my number in case and he leaves. A few days go by and I get a phone call from Choosing Beggar. Hello? Hey, it's Choosing Beggar. I went by your house on a certain day to ask for the car you got on sale. Oh yeah, hi. Were you thinking of buying the car after all? Well, actually, your price is too high. Ah, I'm sorry, my price is firm. Well, it's too high, so... Not knowing what to say at this point... Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, best I can offer you is $200. Huh? $200 is as high as I'll go. It's okay, I'll pass. Honey, no one else will buy it from you. Excuse me? I work as a mechanic and I know more about cars than you do, so... Yeah, okay, you can buy someone else's car for $200 then. Sweetie, I'm telling you, no one else is gonna buy your car. Might as well give it to me for $200. No, sorry. That's as high as I'll go, darling. I can find someone else who is willing to pay the price I asked for. No worries. No, you need to sell it to me for $200. I need? Yes, you need to sell it to me for $200. No one else will buy it. I'm extremely annoyed and in shock at how he had no shame to say that. I don't need anything. You don't have to be the next owner of this car. I can sell it to whoever I want. It doesn't have to be you. So don't tell me what I need to do. Well, then I don't know what to tell you. $200 is as high as I can go. I've had enough of this. Bye. And I blocked his number. Now, I'm no expert with cars, and maybe he did know better about cars than I did or do, considering what he claimed to do for a living. But I do know that if someone is selling something, you can't act like you're the only person in the world and offer such a bad price expecting the seller to be like, oh, dang it, you win, I lose. No, never. This has been John from Slash Bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to see more of them, then please hit the subscribe button. We'd love for you to drop a like and to share it with your friends, and we'll see you in the next one.